Welcome, guys, to the Whiskey Explorer. I have two good friends with me tonight here. Got the first mate, and I've got my buddy Kyle. So we are doing a bottle that even the first mate could approve of. This is the Bruichladdich Classic Laddie. So what this is this is a single malt Scotch from the Bruichladdich distillery. So those of you that know Bruichladdich, it's a really cool distillery. They're also responsible for Port Charlotte, which is their peated whiskey, and then they are also responsible for Octomore. And Octomore is the world's most heavily peated Scotch, as far as I know. So talking about peat levels, ppm is phenol parts per million. In the Octomore, it's somewhere about 230, between maybe 230 to 250. So to give you a baseline on that, something like a Talisker, that's about 20 ppm. So huge, yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so ppm. So that's actually good. So ppm is phenol parts per million.
What's phenol?
So
what is that?
Phenol means phenolics. So the medicinal quality of peat that you get, those are called phenols.
Like pheromones?
No, not like pheromones.
Okay.
Like phenols. Like I think of it like as being like pharmaceutical, like medical, like
gross taste.
The iodine taste of peat, right? Especially coastal peat, and that's this distillery is from the Isle of Islay, and Isle of Islay is well known for heavily peated scotches.
And where is the Isle of Islay?
So that's off the north coast of Scotland. Yeah.
So is the peat made from seaweed?
Yes, that's a really good point. So peat is yes, partly. So peat, so peat is what is peat? Well, peat, like, we could do a whole video on what is peat. Peat is basically ancient soil, like 5,000 years old.
What?
That's what a peat bog is.
Yeah, but where do they get it from?
Exactly.
They go digging?
They go digging.
That's
right?
disgusting.
So you have a field and you'll have peat as soon as you dig down. It's almost like a fossil fuel.
What?
Yes,
That's
and
so
so
That's gross.
well, okay, but it's, the
So
peat,
gross.
guys, hold on. The peat is not going into the whiskey directly. The peat is being used to dry the barley. Okay? So back in the day, the whole reason they used peat is because back in the day it was a super cheap fuel source. So like, we can just dig this up and burn it and it will dry the barley.
Is it like a dung?
No.
Why does it burn then?
Okay.
Like a dung.
I see what you're saying. So yeah, it might have some hay, like grass type qualities to it. So the stuff, exactly as you said, the reason why you get some part of the reason why you get those seaside notes, like salty, briny, seaweed type characteristic of island or island.
Seaweed washes up and then it gets buried over the years. Yeah, it's so gross, but I get it.
So anyways, that is why they burned peat to dry the barleys, because it's just so much. It was a cheap fuel source.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. So what's interesting about this one is this is their unpeated offering. So their whole line, anything that's in the classic Laddie, is not peated. So there is no peat used to dry the barley in this particular bottle.
Taste.
No peat taste.
Sweet.
No peat flavor whatsoever.
Sweet.
Which is good for my friends here because I like peat, but they are not big into the peat.
No.
So this is a really interesting whiskey that way, because most Islay whiskeys are peated. So it's cool and interesting to find one that isn't. And this is bottled at 50%. It's a non-age statement. But what's really cool about this bottle is there is a little, you won't be able to see it here, but on the side of the bottle there, just sort of near where the back label is and the barcode, there is a code here at the bottom, and it says, well, I won't read you guys the whole code because it's not really applicable, but...
That's the expiration date.
No. This 5-digit code right here, you can put into the Bruichladdich website, and you can find out, they have a really good transparency about what goes into their whiskey. You can find out all of the casks that went into this whiskey, and all of the different years of the whiskey. So,
did you do that?
Yes, I did. So
did.
For this one in particular, this one is the youngest whiskey that is in here is 9 years old. So they don't put an age statement on it because, and I don't know about other bottlings of the classic Laddie, but I do know that this one has some older whiskeys in it as well. I think the oldest one though was 11 years, but depending on what the batch is, there could be even older whiskeys.
So this is a blend?
So it's a blend of different malts and different caskings. Actually, in this case, there was, I believe it was 8 or 9 different ones.
Yeah.
But since it comes from a single distillery, it's still considered a single malt.
So just they take a bunch of barrels and age them all randomly and then shove it in one.
You got it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
And because it comes from the same distillery and it's not sourced from different distilleries, you can still call it a single malt because it only has. Okay. So it only has whiskeys coming from this distillery.
So a stretch. Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, this is so the price point for you guys. So this bottle here, so it's gone up quite a bit. So when I first used to see it, it was around $60. It was $59.99, and this is the entry bottle in their core range of products. So I mean, you get it for a little bit of a better price point, and there's no age statement on it. Not always, but often you can find no age statement whiskeys. They're a little bit less money than age stated whiskeys. So this one has gone up now, though. This one was, when I bought it, was about $71.99. So it's gone up about $10 in the last year. So that, in terms of single malt scotches, that's fairly significant. That's a fairly significant hike in price. So any comments on the bottle? Alice, what do you think of this beautiful, interesting turquoise blue bottle?
It's Tiffany blue, for one.
Oh.
It's Tiffany blue.
Tiffany blue.
I like it. It's nice.
It's really different from a typical Scotch bottle. Normally you're clear glass, green glass, or brown glass. Yeah. I'm going to just bring this one up to the camera really quick for you guys just so you can have a close look at it. There we go. There, it's snapped into focus there. So that's the classic Laddie.
Yeah, it's got good font too. It's good for like typography.
I think the marketing on it's pretty cool.
Because it's different.
Yeah.
It is different.
It stands out from every other one.
It does, and especially so. I think they did that from the consumer point of view. You're walking through, like if you're a single malt, or not even single malt, if you're a Scotch person, you're walking through the whiskey aisles. This bottle's going to stand head and shoulders above the other ones because it's so different. The other interesting thing about this bottle is that the bottle is controversial in the Scotch world, right? People don't know, like, I think you probably get the people that are like old school and they're expecting a really classic bottle. They are going to hate this bottle.
Yeah, but those are old farts who are like stuck in their ways. Seriously.
That's true. So, or you get the other side, which is probably younger people that kind of embrace the new modern.
This would go great next to Drake's whiskey.
Oh God,
right?
It's a terrible whiskey. And Connor's McGregor's whiskey, right? This one, about the bottle. So it's controversial. So some like whiskey reviewer or somebody asked the head distiller or not head distiller, somebody in their operations. I think it was their marketing person, why it's this color. And he said where the distillery is situated, it's on a loch, which a loch is like essentially a bay. And he said that in the morning, when you hike up the hill and you look down the bay, sometimes the water is this color.
I think it's just because it looks good on the It's a good explanation.
Fair. So we've done quite a bit of a backstory to this one, so I think we got to get on to pouring and tasting this one. So, ooh, a good cork pop there. It's always good. It's kind of just like a wood top on this one, and cork. Don't get too much on the nose of that. We'll save the nosing for the nosing glasses here. There you are, Mr. Kyle.
I thought these are called Scotch glasses.
Yeah, you call this is like a Glencairn's known as a nosing glass.
Okay.
And that's because the tulip shape. The idea is.
Do I do this?
Nope, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Gonna do neat first, right? And 50%. You're gonna get a bit of punch from the alcohol for sure on this one. I'm gonna just put this over here, maybe. Yeah. There we go. It goes nice with Alice. It's a good Alice color. So what was I gonna say?
Just taste it.
So the nosing glass. So it's tulip shaped, so that the idea is the vapors come up through the tulip. There's a bit of air here in that.
It's like a
bulb.
wine glass for whiskey.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we check the legs. Right?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna look at the color really quick. I'm gonna go out there and say that this is. Does it say on the back here? Sometimes it'll say if it's non-chill filtered and non-colored, but I believe, if I remember correctly, here it is on the front. Unchill filtered and coloring free. So this is all natural coloring, and you can, if you look at the coloring in the glass there, just hold it just a little bit closer there for you guys. It's a very light straw color.
It's a urine color.
I was thinking that or
Were you?
that or apple juice.
Yeah. One and
Probably
the
doesn't
same.
taste like apple juice.
But that leads me to believe, I do know about what age the whiskeys are in here, fairly young whiskey. In terms
So
of
the
age.
darker it is, the longer it's sat.
Generally.
Yeah, okay.
Generally speaking,
All
yeah.
right.
And this is, like, I wouldn't be able to tell you guys all the barrels this has been aged in. There's such a variety of barrels. There's like 8 or 9 different barrels that went into this particular batch, so just
It's
way
got
too many.
good oily legs to it, right?
Yeah, I would say good long legs to it for sure. Really slow, so lots of wood sugars in there.
Is
probably.
that oily? That's oily.
I'm curious to see what you guys find in the mouthfeel of it, to see if it's mouth coating or not.
Well, I'm no expert, so I don't.
On the nose, what do you guys get?
Man.
I know what I get, but I'm going to let you guys go first.
I'm getting like a nutty.
You get nutty, like a nutty flavor?
Nutty flavor.
Me too. Yeah.
Vanilla.
Definitely vanilla.
Banana?
Yeah, I would say banana. like a fruit flavor. I get like pear or apple.
Yeah, I can smell pear actually.
Like a green
I was
apple
just
or a
gonna say
pear.
that.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of pear actually.
Like tons of pear. It's
Maybe
a really
it's just pear juice.
or like fruit, like it's fruit forward, right? It's citrusy.
Yes.
You know, it's almost like an apple peel. That type of thing.
It smells kind of like it has a little bit of peat almost though. But you say it doesn't?
That's the interesting thing. So other whiskey reviewers have found that too, and people who have
I'm
not
very
had.
advanced.
Well, there you go. So those people, like people who have not had much peat, or sorry, that have had a lot of peat, that are experienced with it, they'll taste this and go, "I swear, there's peat in there."
Yeah, it smells like peat.
It's really interesting.
And a wet
You could- yeah, you could
cardboard
smell it.
almost.
All right.
To it.
Well, I think that's pretty good for nose. I think we should
I think
taste. So tasting at full strength, Salancha.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, weird. I don't hate that.
That's a first.
That's not bad.
That's good.
It's not bad. I still make that face though, but
Yeah, that's.
but it's
also
actually pretty good.
50% alcohol by volume, so it's high.
It doesn't have the burning right up front though, like a lot of them.
No, I find it comes afterwards.
Yeah, but it's not as bad.
What do you guys?
Yeah,
Okay, let's go for a second sip before we do our tasting notes.
Okay.
It tastes like straw.
Straw.
It does.
Mm.
It does.
We'll get to that.
That's the peat.
That's barley.
That's the barley.
Yeah.
They burn the barley
They dry the barley.
and then they mash it up.
Yeah. Oh, hey, so that brings up an important point. So, Bruichladdich is really particular about their what they call terroir, and I may not be pronouncing that right, but terroir would be it comes from the wine wine sommeliers.
Yeah.
Terroir is everything to do with the grapes that come off that vine, the soil, the climate, the slope, the location of
Like
the winery.
their terrain.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Bruichladdich has that all plotted from the different farms they use for their barley. So the fact that you're getting barley, one of the versions of this is called Scottish barley, and it uses barley just grown at the
So
distillery.
I'm picking up the main note.
Yes.
That you should be picking up.
I would say so. And the reason they call this one the classic Laddie, first of all, Laddie, that comes from shortening of Bruichladdich, so shortening Bruichladdich to just Laddie. And then the classic Laddie, this is supposed to be as close to like a single malt Scotch that you would have got in the like 1900s.
Oh, this one?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like straight up simple kind of thing. It seems like they're keeping it simple.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I like it though. It's pretty good.
It's nice and clean tasting. It almost kind
Yes.
of is like, not Nika, but kind of that,
That vibe, yeah, I could see that.
like it's simple, fresh.
Now we hardly have any left, but let's just do a quick drop of water and see if that opens anything up in the whiskey. It may cloud because it's unchill filtered.
Just one?
Yeah, because you hardly have any in there.
Oh.
So like that's already this much whiskey, this small amount. Putting 1 drop in is taking it from 50% to 45.
No.
Yeah,
That much.
yeah, I would
Wow.
say. I would. Well,
Prove it.
I mean, I might not be right, but
Yeah.
No.
see if that opens it up at all. So for me, it made it a lot sweeter.
Yeah.
I like it less with the water.
So and why?
I don't know. It's more like alcohol flavor comes out more.
Yeah, for you too.
I get that too, yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
okay,
it's not,
interesting.
Maybe it's when you water it down a bit, it's not coating the tongue as much. Maybe it's like,
Pretty good mouthfeel from it for sure.
but worse with the water.
The finish on it is quite long, like medium to long.
I find it gives you more of a punch at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good one. It's not super complex, but like Alice said, it's a really clean single malt Scotch
I find more of
experience,
the
I think.
sweetness comes out,
Yeah.
for sure.
Good for making your Cosmos and your.
No. Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, I think we should wrap it up. So if you guys haven't done so already, please click the link down, or please click the subscribe button below and check out our other videos. And until next time, guys, may your sails be full and your drams be fuller. Cilantro.
Did you just make that up?
Nope. That's the sign off.